In this tutorial, I'll show you how to make this Lily of the Valley keychain that you can use as a car accessory or bag charm. For the materials, I'll be using 2 different colors of yarn. To make the lilies, I'll be using this light pink shade, and to make the leaves and stem, I'll be using green. You'll also need a crochet hook. I'm using a 3.5mm hook, a pair of scissors, an optional stitch marker, and a yarn needle. To start the project, we'll make a magic ring. To make the magic ring, we're going to hold down a tail of yarn in front of 2 fingers and wrap that around the fingers and cross it over to create an X. Grab your crochet hook, insert it underneath the strand on the right and over to grab the strand on the left. Then we'll slightly turn our hook upwards and place the crochet hook underneath that strand in the back. Then we're going to take that yarn and pull it through the loop on our hook. Remove your fingers and pull upwards with your crochet hook to tighten. For round 1, we'll work 6 single crochets inside of the magic ring. Insert your crochet hook into the ring, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops on the hook. Repeat this for a total of 6 single crochets. Once you make 6 single crochets, we'll tug on the tail of yarn to close the hole in the center. To finish off round 1, we're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet that we made. So this is where we're going to insert our crochet hook. To begin round 2, chain 1. For this round, we're going to do 2 single crochets inside of each stitch. So I'm going back into that same stitch and working 2 single crochets. So I did the first one, and I'll go back in to do the second single crochet. And this is called an increase. We're going to work an increase in each stitch all the way around. So work 2 single crochets in each stitch. At the end of the round, we'll slip stitch to the first single crochet. To start round 3, chain 1. We're going to work 1 single crochet into the first stitch. And in the next stitch, we're going to work 2 single crochets. Repeat the pattern of single crochet followed by an increase in the next stitch until the end of the round. So I'm working a single crochet, and in the following stitch, 2 single crochets. At the end of the round, slip stitch to the first single crochet of the round. To begin round 4, we'll chain 1 and work a single crochet in each stitch all the way around. At the end of the round, slip stitch into the first single crochet. We're going to chain 1 and repeat this pattern until we reach the end of round 6. So repeat doing 1 single crochet in each stitch for 2 more rounds. To start round 7, chain 1. Single crochet into the first stitch. And in the next 2 stitches, we're going to decrease. To decrease, we'll insert our crochet hook into this next stitch, pull up a loop, and we're going to insert our crochet hook into the following stitch, pull up a loop, and you should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And that's how we're going to decrease in this round. So in the next stitch, we'll work a regular single crochet, followed by a decrease in the next 2 stitches. So insert your crochet hook into that next stitch, pull up a loop, insert into the following stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Repeat the pattern of 1 single crochet followed by a decrease all the way around. I've reached the last decrease of the round, and when we finish that, we're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet. For the final round, we're going to make the petals of the lily. To start, we'll chain 1, and we're going to start with a single crochet in the first stitch. And back in that same stitch, we're going to work a half double crochet. To half double crochet, yarn over and insert the crochet hook into the same stitch. We'll pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. And in that same stitch again, we're going to work a double crochet. So we'll yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the remaining loops. So we've completed 1/2 of the petal, and we're going to move on to the next stitch. We'll start by doing 1 double crochet, followed by a half double crochet in the same stitch, and lastly a single crochet in that same stitch. So this completes the full petal, and we're going to repeat this pattern until the end of the round. So in this next stitch, we're going to start by single crocheting, half double crochet, and double crochet. Then we'll move on to the next stitch. Start with a double crochet, half double crochet, and single crochet. Repeat this pattern until the end of the round. To wrap up this round, we're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet that we made. We finished making the lily and now we can fasten off. Chain one and pull the yarn through. Take your scissors to snip off the yarn. Then we can pull that yarn through and tighten. At this point, we can turn our flower inside out so that this is the correct side. And an important note to make is we don't want to cut off these strands of yarn because we're going to use the one that's in the inside to tie a knot when we're connecting our stem. So we can leave that one alone, and with the outer tail that we just fastened off, we can weave that into our project. I've threaded the yarn through my yarn needle and I'm just going to weave into a few stitches in the inside of the lily. Once that loose strand is secured, we can snip off the yarn, and we're going to repeat the same pattern to make a second lily. And once you have two lilies, we can place them to the side and pick up our green yarn. We're going to start making the leaves, and to begin, we'll create a slip knot. Insert your crochet hook into the knot, and we'll start by chaining 16. After making 16 chains, we're going to work one single crochet into the second chain from the hook. In the next stitch, we're going to work one half double crochet. Then we'll work a double crochet into the next 3 chains. So here's my first double crochet, my second double crochet, and the third double crochet. Half double crochet into the following stitch, then single crochet into the next stitch, and in the next stitch, which will be the middle point, we're going to work a slip stitch into that chain. Work 1 single crochet into the next chain. And in the following chain, work 1 half double crochet. And in the next 3 chains, we'll work 1 double crochet in each chain. Work a half double crochet into the second to last chain, and in the final chain we'll work 1 single crochet. So now that we've finished 1 half of the leaf, we can start to work on the other side. So we'll position our leaf vertically and we're going to slip stitch into this space right here on the left. For reference, we're going to insert our crochet hook into that hole. Insert the hook and work a slip stitch. And in that same space, we're going to work a single crochet. So insert the hook back into the same hole, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And now we can turn our work and work on this side. So into that first stitch, we're going to work a half double crochet, yarn over, insert your crochet hook into this space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Then we're going to work a double crochet in the next 3 chains. After 3 double crochets, we'll work a half double crochet in the following stitch, followed by a single crochet in the next stitch. And we've reached the middle point again. So into that middle chain, we're going to work a slip stitch. And moving on to the remaining part of the leaf, we'll work a single crochet into this next stitch. A half double crochet into the next stitch, followed by a double crochet in the next 3 stitches. In the second to last stitch, we'll work 1 half double crochet, followed by a single crochet in the last stitch. And to finish off the leaf, we're going to slip stitch into that first stitch from the round. The tips of the leaves should be pointy like this, and now we can fasten off. To fasten off, chain 1, pull the yarn through the loop on your hook, and take your scissors to snip off this much length of yarn. Pull that through and tighten. Before we move on to the next part, we can weave in the loose ends into the leaf. So I'm weaving the yarn through the needle, and I'm going to pick this side to be the wrong side, so I'll weave in the loose strands on this back side and hiding it the best that I can. When it's fully secured, you can snip off the yarn and repeat the same thing for the other loose strand. Here's what the leaves look like, and now we can place this to the side and pick up the green yarn again to make the stem of the lilies. I'm measuring out a tail of yarn that's about the length of my crochet hook, and I'm holding down that yarn in place and making a slip knot at that point. To make the stem, we're going to crochet 60 chains, and the length of the chain you make can be short or long depending on what you plan to use the lilies for. I'll be using this as a bag charm or car accessory, so I'm going to make mine 60 chains long. So I've done 60 chains and going to chain 1 to fasten off. And I'm leaving this much length of tail and cutting around this point. We can pull the yarn through and gently tighten without pulling too tight, so it's easy to pull through when we're attaching later. So now we can start with the assembly. So I'm going to take one end of that stem that we created and weave it through the yarn needle. Pick up one of the lilies and insert your yarn needle into the top of the flower where the magic ring was. So poke that through and pull it through the inside, making sure it doesn't get tangled like this with the tail of yarn. So I'm just untangling that and pulling it through. And you only want to pull in up to the second chain. So first I'm just going to pull so that it comes through like this. So I did a little too much, so I'm just going to pull this up. And once I have about 1 or 2 chains inside, I'm going to tie a knot with the tail of yarn that we started to make the lily with. And I'll do this a couple of times to make sure that it's fully in place. After tying the knot a few times, I'm going to take my scissors to snip off the excess yarn. And now it's hidden inside of the flower. And we're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. So thread the yarn through your yarn needle and poke it through the top of the second lily. Pull that through the inside. And once you have 1 or 2 chains inside of the flower, we can tie a knot. So now the lilies are nice and secure and they won't come out when we pull on the stem. To attach the leaves, insert your crochet hook into the center of the leaves and pull that stem through, and this will make it adjustable. So you can move this up or down, and here's the final product. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you next time.